GameKO. Welcome back, coders, to another episode of the Code Report. Today is Wednesday, June 2nd, when we're filming this. We are bringing you some of the latest updates and news stories around the gaming world. Today we have a really interesting one. Lots of E3 news, lots of gameplay information, and some GPU-related information to whet your teeth, just because we know you can't find them anyway. Might as well find out about them, even when you can't buy them. The first thing on our list is 2 PlayStation exclusives may be delayed. Well, according to PlayStation, we know for sure one of these 2 titles has been delayed to 2022, which is a big bummer, and that is God of War Ragnarok. This was announced in 2018 and the 2018 E3. Just showed a title and got everyone real hyped, but they have confirmed it is God of War Ragnarok, and unfortunately, they're going to need some more time to finish this one up. Please understand that games are very complicated things to make, and they're going to take more time sometimes. And in this case, I think the more time, the better. COVID hit a lot of developers hard, and I imagine a big game like this got a major impact as well. Another one that may be delayed but hasn't been confirmed quite yet is the beautiful looking Horizon Forbidden West. They recently came out and said they cannot quite confirm a holiday release, but that is their target, meaning that if things don't go according to plan, then they may have to delay it into probably early 2022. My guess is that we're going to see Horizon Forbidden West in the very beginning part of 2022, and we're going to see God of War Ragnarok sometime next holiday season. It just makes no sense to release a big, huge exclusive like that in the middle of June. So hopefully that's what we see, and they will be amazing games. So better to wait and see than to hurry up and get a crappy game. Cyberpunk. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. There isn't all bad news on the PlayStation front, though, because there was a PlayStation State of Play recently that showed off 13 minutes of Horizon Forbidden West gameplay deep dive material. They were able to show off the PS5 version, and it looks absolutely incredible. You should be seeing some of the gameplay in the background running right now, and as you can see, it is dripping with detail. Horizon Zero Dawn was no slouch of a game, and on PC, it's absolutely stunning today. The crazy thing is, the PS5 version of Horizon Forbidden West looks to up the ante even further, adding all kinds of incredible lighting and great texture detail, all kinds of interactive fight sequences, and even a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild glider to the equation, which is beautiful. Go ahead and check that footage out if you haven't already. It's totally worth the 13 minutes. In fact, watch it 2 or 3 times. Might as well get more hyped. And more Horizon is always a good thing. Next on the docket, we have Nintendo E3 Showcase announced. This was recently announced actually today, as of the making of this video. On June 15th is the date that they will be showcasing all of their upcoming content for this year. This show will be exclusively focused on games coming this year, as said by Nintendo. So my expectation is that we're going to see a lot of things that are going to be coming up rapidly, and maybe one more things that showcase something that's out in 2022 and 2023. My guess, though, is one of the bigger announcements is going to be Breath of the Wild 2. And if it's not that, we may see Metroid. That's my other hope. Anyway, stay tuned to the channel for more predictions. I think we're going to do probably some podcasts about what we think is going to come up in the coming days. So stay tuned to that. Stay locked in, because we're going to have some cool coverage there. Another thing that may be happening with an E3 showcase, or right ahead of it, is the Switch Pro announcement. There's been a lot of rumblings. In fact, a lot of major insiders are pretty convinced that the Switch Pro is right around the corner. So I would expect that they may announce that ahead of the E3 show, since they're intending to focus exclusively on games, and the show is only expected to be about 45 minutes. So since that's a pretty quick runtime, I don't expect them to be rolling out new hardware in that kind of a situation. Anyway, that's it for Nintendo. Let's move on to the next subject. Xbox E3 conference was actually announced last week, but we're finally getting to covering the news here. June 13th and it's expected to be about an hour and a half, which means there's a ton of content. The really cool thing about this year's E3 conference is it's the first time we're getting to see anything from the combined studios of Bethesda and all of the Xbox internal studios that existed before them. Now we get to see the full lineup, the full-fledged package of what they may have to offer, and I think the expectations are riding pretty high. Now, I do recommend we temper expectations a little bit. Remember, they just acquired Bethesda, so while Bethesda may be working on some projects, they already had a lot of projects that were near the end of development, so we may see something cool, but we definitely are going to see something from Starfield, Halo Infinite, and probably a couple other surprises out there. So Xbox should be set up for a very exciting E3 conference. Another piece of nugget, a little nugget of information that we've heard as well, is that the Halo showcase may be mostly focused on multiplayer. A big component, obviously, of Halo fandom is the multiplayer aspect, so we do expect that Halo will be focused a lot on what the multiplayer action is. That being said, I'm not as much of a cynic as most people. I do believe that they're going to probably go ahead and show a good snippet of gameplay from the single-player campaign. They've got a little bit to prove there, just because a lot of people were a little underwhelmed with the gameplay footage. Not me personally, but I know that a lot of people wanted to see more of that, and I can't blame them. I think in the end, it's going to be a good thing to kind of showcase where that direction is going, and I'm excited to see what's down the pike for Halo. Next on the docket, we have GPU News. GPU News is our segment where we're going to take a little look at all the things you can't buy because of a semiconductor shortage. So, RTX 3080 Ti got announced. It is $1,199, and it is the equivalent or ahead of the 3090, which means that this thing is a beast. But it's also going to destroy your wallet. And let's just be honest, $1,199 is the retail price. Realistically, you're going to spend $4,000 from scalpers. So enjoy trying to find that one, just like we've been trying to find a 3060 since the beginning of its launch. My dad was lucky, I wasn't. Anyway, let's move on. We also have a couple announcements from AMD. One of the bigger announcements, which I think is something to keep an eye on, especially for console owners, is the announcement of AMD's Super Resolution, their DLSS competitor. This is in its early initial version, so I'm interested to see how close they can come to being able to really get a ton more performance out of their initial offering, from upsampling to higher resolutions. So playing the games at much lower resolutions internally, but it being almost imperceptible to the eye, making it look like 4K, 1440p, depending on the version you choose. Early, showcases seem to be pretty promising, but there's still some question marks around the image quality and whether or not this is going to hold up with every game. So it'll be something to keep an eye on. The really good thing about this is that GPUs inside of the current consoles are also AMD, so it's something you want to make sure to keep an eye on, just because it may be an opportunity for you to see more performance out of your consoles for longer times. And it's even supporting the GTX 1060, which is a surprise, and that's kind of exciting because that's what my laptop has. Maybe I can get a couple more years out of it. I don't know, probably not. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the last detail, and that's just there's some new CPUs and GPUs announced for AMD. And while I'm not gonna go into the exact details on each GPU that was announced and the CPUs that were announced, needless to say, it's exciting to see the next generation of chips go out there. Again, not going to be able to find them, so good luck. Also, they're inside Teslas, so that might make them even more hard to find. Apparently, Teslas will be now supporting PS5 levels of GPU compute, which is pretty exciting because that means you can play games while you're driving. Yeah, I don't know. Might not have been the smartest idea from Elon Musk, but let's go ahead and see how that all turns out. Thank you guys for tuning into today's Code Report. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. And as always, stay classy, coders.